Hello everyone, and I'm your online math mentor, and I'm back with another video, and this time let's talk about the integration of hyperbolic functions. But before I go on to business, let me just give you a short background of hyperbolic functions. And we all know that hyperbolic functions are functions possessing closely similar properties with that of the six trigonometric or the six circular functions. And some of the applications of these hyperbolic functions arise in many problems of mathematics and mathematical physics, in which the integrals involving the square root of 1 plus x squared arise, wherein in circular functions we're dealing with the square root of 1 minus x squared. And some of the applications, for instance, the hyperbolic sign arises in the gravitational potential of a cylinder and the calculation of the Roche limit. And this Roche limit, yeah, that's the distance from the shortest distance, sorry, that's the shortest distance from a planet center within which a satellite cannot neither approach nor reside without being disrupted by tidal forces. And this hyperbolic cosine function is the shape of the hanging cable, which we call the catenary cable. And the hyperbolic tangent arises in the calculation of rapidity of a special relativity. And all these three appear in the Schwarzschild metric using external isotropic Kruskal coordinates in general relativity. And the hyperbolic secant arises in the profile of laminar jet, while the hyperbolic cotangent arises in the Langevin function for magnetic polarization. And those are some of the applications of hyperbolic functions in the field of mathematics and mathematical physics. So let's talk about hyperbolic function and its relation to some exponential functions. And we all know that cosine hx, or the hyperbolic cosine of x, is denoted by e to the x plus e to the negative x all over 2. Hyperbolic sign, that's e to the x minus e to the negative x all over 2. The hyperbolic secant, you will observe that this is the reciprocal of hyperbolic cosine, and hyperbolic cosecant, that's the reciprocal of hyperbolic sine. And that you will also observe that tangent hx is just the ratio between hyperbolic sine and hyperbolic cosine, whereas the cotangent hx is just equal to the reciprocal of the hyperbolic tangent. And when we talk about of its derivatives, if we let u be any function in terms of x, then the derivative of sine hu is cosine hu du. The derivative of cosine hu is sine hu du. Derivative of tangent hu is secant h squared u du. The derivative of hyperbolic cotangent is the negative of hyperbolic cosecant squared u du. And the derivative of secant hu is negative secant hu tangent hu du. And finally, the derivative of cosecant hu is equal to the negative cosecant hu cotangent hu du. Now, you will observe that these are similar to the derivatives of the six circular functions, and they only differ in sign. Okay, and you will observe that when you differentiate a reciprocal function, namely cotangent hu, secant hu, and cosecant hu, then their derivatives will receive the minus sign. And some of the notable properties of hyperbolic functions are listed here, and we might use this in evaluating integrals of some hyperbolic functions. You can remember that in trigonometry or in circular functions, this identity cosine h squared x plus sine h squared x, this is equal to 1. However, when it is now hyperbolic, so that's cosine h squared x minus sine h squared x, and that is equal to 1. And you can also observe that the add even identity for circular function also follows the odd and even identity for hyperbolic functions. Okay, and here are some of the integrals. Okay, and since the derivative of hyperbolic sine is equal to hyperbolic cosine u du, and it follows that the integral of cosine hu du is positive sine hu plus c. And similarly, since the derivative of cosine hu is equal to sine hu du, then it follows that the integral of sine hu du is cosine hu plus c. And you can also verify the following, okay? From this relationship, we have the integral of secant h squared u du is equal to tangent HU plus C. And the integral of secant H to tangent H to du is negative secant HU plus C. And you can see here that the negative sign is received for those integrals leading to reciprocal functions, such as the integral of secant H to tangent HU is negative secant HU, since this is reciprocal of cosine. And the integral of cosecant HU cotangent HU du is negative cosecant HU plus C. Okay, and then we will be using this formulas to integrate some of the following examples. We have if we integrate sine x dx, that's in trigonometry. Okay, so it follows that the integral is equal to negative cosine x plus c. But when we write it in hyperbolic function, so we have integral of sine hx dx, then it will now become positive cosine hx plus c, since we all know that the derivative of hyperbolic cosine of x is positive hyperbolic sine of x. Okay, so it does really mean that whatever technique you use in integrating trigonometric functions, that also apply in integrating hyperbolic functions. For instance, if we integrate sine h 3x dx, then you can let u be equal to 3x. Then you can observe that du is 3 dx, and it follows here we only have dx, okay? And therefore, this is 1/3 du equals dx. So this can now be written as integral of sine hu, then dx is represented by 1/3 du. So finally, we can have 1/3 integral of sine hu is positive cosine hu plus c, and then you replace that u by the original variable. So we have 1/3 cosine h 3x plus c. Okay, and then we have this. Another one. We have cosine h 3/4 x dx. So what are we going to do? You just get the reciprocal of this. So that's 4/3. And then we integrate cosine h, and that's positive sine h. And then you just copy the parameter 3/4 x, and then you add c. So we have 4/3 sine h 3/4 x plus c. And the next, we have integral of secant h5x tangent h5x dx. Then we let u be equal to 5x. Then we can observe that du is 5 dx, or 1/5 du is positive dx. So this can now be written as the integral of hyperbolic secant of u, hyperbolic tangent of u, and then dx is represented by 1/5 du. And you know that the integral of secant hu tangent hu du is negative. You just copy 1/5 in front. That's negative secant hu, and then you add c. And then finally, the integral of secant h5x tangent h5x dx is negative 1/5 secant h5x plus c. Next example. This time we are integrating secant h 3x dx. So you know that u is equal to 3x and du is 3 dx. Again, there's only dx here. So that's 1/3 du equals dx. And we shall recall that the integral of secant hu du is equal to arctangent of sine hu plus c. So we can now have 1/3 arctangent of sine h 3x plus c. Number 6, say we have integral of tangent h square root of 3x dx, and you should recall that the integral of tangent hu is ln of cosine hu plus c. And then finally, you can write this as 1 over the square root of 3 ln of cosine h square root of 3x plus c. Okay, another one. Say we have tangent h square root of x over square root of x. From here, you can observe that u is equal to square root of x, and du is 1/2 x raised to negative 1/2 dx, or 2 du is equal to dx over square root of x. And then it follows that this dx over square root of x is our 2 du, and this can now be written as the integral of 2 tangent hu du. And then we can now have 2 ln of cosine hu, and then you add c. And then finally, we can say that this is equal to 2 ln of cosine h square root of x plus c. Then we also have, okay, so this time you let u be equal to 2x cubed, and then it follows that du is 6x squared dx. And we only have x squared dx. These two will go along together. So we can now have 1/6 du is x squared dx. So we have 1/6 integral of cosine hu du. And that will lead us to 1/6 sine hu plus c. And replacing u by 2x cubed, we shall have 1/6 sine h 2x cubed plus c. Another set. So this time we are integrating e to the x sine h e to the x dx. So we can let u be equal to e to the x, and you know that du is e to the x dx. And this e to the x and this dx will go along together to represent du. So that can now be written as the integral of sine hu du. And this will give you hyperbolic cosine of u plus c. And replacing u by e to the x, that leads us to hyperbolic cosine of e to the x plus c. Next. All right, so this time we let u be equal to 2 sine h2x, and then it follows that du is negative 2 hyperbolic cosine 2x dx. And since this dx should go along together with cosine h2x, okay, and then that's negative 1/2 du equals cosine h2x dx. And then this dx should have to have cosine h2x on its side, and that can be obtained if you get the reciprocal of this 1 over secant h2x. And that will lead us to the integral of cosine h2x dx all over 2 minus sine h2x. And this can now be written as, this cosine h2x dx is our negative 1/2 du, and this one is our u. So we are now of the form negative 1/2 integral of du over u. And this du over u, it will lead us to an ln. Okay, that's negative 1/2 ln of u plus c, and therefore that will lead us to negative 1/2 ln of 2 minus sine h2x plus c. Okay. So we have sine h cubed 2x cosine h2x dx. So it's an obvious observation here that u is equal to sine h2x, and that du is 2 cosine h2x dx. We only have here cosine h2x dx, and then we just divide it by 2. So 1/2 du is cosine h2x dx. And then we can now write this of the form 1/2 integral of u cubed du. Integrating, you now have 1/2 u to the 4 over 4 plus c, of course. And then that will lead us to 1/8 sine h to the 4 2x plus c. Now, if you are following my YouTube channel, in one of my previous videos, I presented some special techniques on how to integrate trigonometric functions of this form. So, and we can still adapt this to integrate hyperbolic function of this form. So we just going to look for the value of a and the value of n. So in this case, we can now say that a is equal to 2. This one, you know that the derivative of 2x is 2. So a is 2 and n is equal to 3. So this can now be written as 1 all over, following this formula. Okay, that's 2 times 3 plus 1, then you copy hyperbolic sign, then 3 plus 1, then you just copy the parameter 2x, and then you add c. And then this can now be written as 1 over 3 plus 1 is 4 times 2, that's 1 over 8, yeah. Sine h, then 3 plus 1 is another 4, then you just copy 2x, and then you add c. And I think we get the same answer. Another one, say you have integral of cosine h ln x all over x times sine h to the 4 ln x dx. And again, sine and cosine go along together as part of the integrand. And you observe that the hyperbolic cosine is raised to the first power, and that the hyperbolic sine is raised to the fourth power. And then we can now let u be equal to sine h of ln of x, and then du, you know that the derivative of sine is cosine h ln of x, and then we differentiate ln of x, that's dx over x. And then this whole thing, okay, the one I encircled will represent your du. And therefore, we can now say that this integrand can now be written of the form integral of du over u to the 4. So you can write this of the form u raised to negative 4 du, and then by power formula, that's u raised to negative 3 over negative 3 plus c, or that's negative 1 over 3 u cubed plus c, writing it back to the original variable, that's negative 1 all over 3 sine h cubed of ln of x plus c. Yeah. Next. Again, if you can recall this formula, okay, this applies for the integral of cosine raised to n ax sine ax dx, and we can also adapt it, okay, to integrate hyperbolic function of this form. That's integral of cosine h to the n ax sine h ax dx is equal to, you will observe that the minus sign here is eliminated, since you know that the derivative of cosine h is sine h. And then we shall apply this formula to integrate this integrand. So we have, you know here that n is equal to negative 7 and a is equal to 1/2. And then that can now be written as 1 all over 1/2. This is your a, and this is your n plus 1. So that's negative 7 plus 1 times cosine h raised to negative 7 plus 1, then times the then you just copy the parameter 1/2 of x, and then you just simplify this. So this is negative 6 times 1/2, that's negative 3. So we have negative 1/3, yeah, negative 1/3 hyperbolic cosine of raised to negative 6, then you copy 1/2 x, and then you add c, and you got this. Yeah, that's negative 1/3 hyperbolic cosine raised to negative 6 of 1/2 x plus c. 6, we have integral of tangent h to the 4 3x secant h squared 3x dx. And you know that the derivative of your tangent h 3x is 3 secant h squared 3x dx. And we have here secant h squared 3x dx. And then you know that 1/3 du is secant h squared 3x dx. Then we can now write it of the form 1/3 u to the 4 du. Okay, and then integrating, you now have 1/3 u to the 5 over 5 plus c. Okay, and that's 1 over 15 tangent h to the 5 3x plus c. You can also apply the same formula, the one we generated, and that's of the form integral of tangent h to the n of ax. Then this should go along together with hyperbolic secant square of ax dx. And this is equal to 1 all over a times n plus 1. Then you copy tangent h, raise it to n plus 1. You copy the parameter ax, and then you add c. So we can verify this. So we know that n is equal to 4 and a is equal to 3. So you have 1 over a, that's 3, times 4 plus 1, that's 5. Then you copy tangent h, and then 4 plus 1 is 5. You copy the parameter 3x, and then you add c. So you have 1 over 15 tangent h to the 5, 3x, and then plus c. And we get the same answer here. Yeah. Next item. So we got integral of sine h 4x all over cosine h squared 2x dx. When you see the integrand, there is hyperbolic sine and hyperbolic cosine. However, they differ on the parameter. Okay, this is 4x and this is 2x. So what are we going to do is we use the double angle identity. You recall the double angle identity, 2 sine x cosine x is equal to sine 2x. And we can also adapt this in hyperbolic function. So we can say that's 2 hyperbolic sine times hyperbolic cosine of x is equal to hyperbolic sine of 2x. Sorry. Okay, so which means this sine h4x, okay, can be written in double angles such as 2 sine h, you get half of 4x, that's 2x. Then times cosine h of 2x, and we have this. Okay, so we got 2 sine h 2x cosine h 2x all over hyperbolic cosine squared of 2x dx. And then we can drop this off, and we can take out 1 hyperbolic cosine 2x on the denominator, leaving us with 2 integral of sine h 2x over cosine h 2x dx. And you know that this is equal to 2 integral of, this is equal to your tangent h2x dx. And then we can let u be equal to 2x. So we now have 2 times the reciprocal of 2, that's 1/2. And you know that the integral of tangent is ln of cosine h, then you copy 2x plus c. And then you get this. Okay, that's 2 times 1/2 ln of cosine h 2x plus c. And then you can just take this out. Okay, and then finally, you have ln of cosine h 2x. And then let's take another example. Yeah, so integral of x cosine h squared of 2 minus 3x squared sine h 2 minus 3x squared dx. If we want to use the special formula, so you can let n here be equal to 2. And since the derivative, you know that the derivative of 2 minus 3x squared is equal to negative 6x dx. We got here x, there's dx here, the two will go along together. Therefore, we can let a be equal to negative 6. Okay, and therefore, you can now say that the integral of x hyperbolic cosine squared of 2 minus 3x squared times sine h 2 minus 3x squared dx is now equal to 1 over a, yeah, that's 1 over a times n plus 1, then hyperbolic cosine raised to 2 plus 1 of 2 minus 3x squared plus c. And then simplifying, you know that this 2 plus 1 is 3 times negative 6 is negative 1 over 18. That's negative 1 over 18 hyperbolic cosine, 2 plus 1 is 3 of 2 minus 3x squared plus c. And